What's going on, everybody? This is Moose, Boyle, and Nick here from OccupyFantasy.com, at OccupyFantasy on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, the whole 9 yards. If it's a social media platform, we're probably on it. I'm the host, Moose, at CFB_Moose on Twitter is where you can find me. I'm a co-founder and data guru here at Occupy Fantasy. Get alongside Boyle, our NBA manager, at TBoyle24_DFS on Twitter. What's up, Boyle? How's it going?
I'm doing pretty good. I didn't realize that we had a TikTok account. So is that mostly just Brian doing dances and stuff, or what is that?
No, it's more so Brian just behind a green screen of like Occupy model and Daily Plug and stuff like that. I want him to do dances and be a part of all the trends, but he instantly shot down that idea.
I think he should be doing the dances while the players flash up behind him. I feel like that would get
Perfect.
some good
Definitely.
attention there.
It sounds like a plan. I'll have to ring that by him. And then at the top of your screen, we have Jayhawk at DFS Jayhawk, one of our NBA writers. How's it going, man?
What's going on, my guy? Just big snow day here in Colorado, so just been chilling, gaming, homework, and NBA.
Makes
So
sense. Well, let's just jump right into it. The groundhog saw his shadow, so that means 6 more weeks of NBA DFS. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and let Nick and Boyle take over. I'm going to go ahead and switch the scene. You're going to see the Occupy Fantasy Daily Plug. If you have questions, definitely go ahead and ask. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and switch it over to you, Boyle.
Perfect. As Moose just said, obviously this is question based. So if any of you guys got any questions, just throw them in the chat and we'll get to them. I'm going to start off just kind of going over the injury reports for today. So first off, let me take this ad off here. So it looks like LeBron James, doubtful, most likely going to be out tonight. Bradley Beal is out. Sabonis, Turner, and Brogdon are all out. Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, and Joe Ingles are all out, and Kristaps Porzingis is out. So those are all like the confirmed players that will be out. And then looking at the if then tonight, it looks like De'Aaron Fox is questionable. We're considering him more doubtful than questionable. Steven Adams is questionable as well, and Jokic was a late addition to the injury report, which is normally not a good sign. So we're going to definitely keep an eye on that situation. But Nick, do you want to kind of go over the if then a little bit here?
yeah, for sure. So starting off, Fox actually just got his MRI on his ankle, and it said that he has no significant damage on it. So that's a good sign. I still think he probably sits out this game just for safety reasons. So that's gonna make Halliburton another great play on this slate. So you watched last night's game, Chris Paul absolutely lit up Brooklyn, and he had like a buzzer beater at halftime. I don't know if everyone saw that on Instagram where he just torched their whole defense and scored a bucket at the end. So I think Halliburton could be in the same situation today and just absolutely abuse this Brooklyn defense. He's still a little bit too cheap if Fox is out, so really like him if Fox is out. And then the next if then, pull it up here, is if Steven Adams is out, then we're gonna want to play Jaren Jackson Jr. So we've seen before when Adams has been out, Jaren Jackson Jr. has been starting at the five. So if he would indeed start at the five, he would get more boards and probably more rebounds and assists as a whole. He kind of thrives in that role as a center more than he would as a power forward. And then, as you were saying, Nikola Jokic just got downgraded to questionable about this afternoon, and DeMarcus Cousins and Aaron Gordon are both questionable as well. So I put down here if Jokic is out, then we're gonna want to play Boogie Cousins, but he's also questionable. So I'll kind of go through the scenarios real quick. So if Jokic is out and Cousins plays, you're gonna want to play Cousins in all your lineups. If Jokic and Cousins are both out, you're gonna want to play like a Zeke Naji or a Michael Green, and then trying to think who else here. And then if Jokic is in and Cousins is out, it's gonna bump Jokic. So there's kind of multiple situations you gotta monitor there. Um, so pretty much
Perfect.
what I have so far for the Thins.
That was a great overview there. So looking at the chat here, I apologize. My chat wasn't working for the first probably minute. So if I miss any comments or anything, just throw them back in. First comment I see in here is from Camilla Aguilar. I'm supposed to give her a shout out because that's my boy's girlfriend. So I'm sure he's kind of working two computers right now. But he is saying, or she is saying, can we trust Dinwiddie after last night? Heartbreaking.
Yeah, I mean, that was rough. I was watching the game. He was just horrific from the field. Um, I think you can go right back to him. He's in the same role as he was without Beal the past 10 times he's played. And if you look, that was his worst game by like 30 fantasy points. If you go look back at his games, he's had at least 35 or 40 fantasy points in all of his games without Beal. So, I mean, I doubt that's going to happen again. It's definitely out of the realms of possibility he has a bad game, but man, that was like an outlandish game for him. Like, I know he's good, but that was like really bad. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
no,
like him
I
a ton
agree.
tonight. I like him a ton.
No,
against them.
Kuzma averaged, I think, I want to say it was like 38 FanDuel points per game without Beal so far this year. So I think most of Dinwiddie's points just kind of went right to Kuzma, if I'm not wrong there. I didn't watch the game. That's just kind of how I saw the box score as.
Yeah. True
So-
Holiday, True Holiday is a really good defender. He kind of shut him down. And I'm not as
Oh,
worried.
yeah, that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not as worried on Thibault. Thibault's a good defender, but Holiday is like arguably the best defender in the NBA. So I like him, and then Kuzma's like 8-2. So I'd rather go Dinwiddie than Kuzma. Sure.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's definitely a price increase on Kuzma there. Next question up. We have, what's up, guys? Any love for Robert Williams tonight?
Yeah, I looked at him this morning. I kind of only play Robert. I can't speak. Robert Williams when Al Horford is out, and kind of vice versa. If Horford is and Williams is out, I play Horford. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go there personally. Ever since they brought Horford in, his minutes and usage just kind of went down as a whole. So I would probably look elsewhere. If you're 150 maxing, I think he's fine to get, I don't know, 5-10% exposure, but not like a building block or anything.
Yeah, just for reference here, he is an 8.8 OF index on the model, and I think on DraftKings and FanDuel, he's both between, I think DraftKings he's 3% projected ownership, and FanDuel he's 2. I mean, again,
Yeah.
not a bad high risk play. He's got a decent OF index, but is he the best play tonight with all the value, with all the injuries? I wouldn't say he's a low risk play.
100% agree with you there.
So and then another question we got in here is Monte Morris a good play?
Yeah, so actually I was gonna go into that. So the peripheral guys for the Nuggets besides Jokic, so like Will Barton, Monte Morris, Aaron Gordon, those guys will all take a massive boost if Jokic is out. So here's how I'm gonna play it. So right now I'm not very high on Morris, but if Jokic were to get ruled out, you could probably send Morris to arguably one of the top value options on the whole slate. So I think that take is very dependent off of the Jokic news.
Yeah, I agree. I like Morris a lot if Jokic is out. Barton, as you highlighted in the plug down there, I kind of like Aaron Gordon as well as kind of like lower own. I know he's gone off before without Jokic.
Yeah.
He'll be kind of him and Barton will be kind of like the number one scoring options if you ask me. So I kind of like Gordon as well to step up.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think if Gordon ends up playing, then I really like Gordon. If Gordon's playing and Jokic is out, I love Gordon. It really does depend on who's in and who's out, though.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Next up, another question from Camilla here. Why is Embiid listed as a high-risk play? Model has him at almost 30% owned.
I thought he was because Jokic, initially I thought Jokic was just going to play. So I thought the ownership would like be evenly distributed between Jokic and Embiid. I still think he comes in around like 25, 30. So, I mean, I think that's more of a high risk because, I mean, low risk for me is like 40, 50%. So I really like him. And then Hallie should be low just because, especially if we don't get this news before log. I put those as my two favorite high risks because I don't think that many people are really going to play Hallie tonight because I think a lot of people think Fox might come back.
So here's a question for you. So let's say Jokic is going to play.
Yeah.
You have a preference between Jokic and Embiid as your top center tonight. Normally we kind of switch, like flip-flop back and forth between the two. Embiid's obviously got a good matchup against the Wizards. But Jokic has got a matchup without Rudy Gobert, without Hassan Whiteside, probably going up against a really undersized center here. Do you lean one way versus the other?
You know, I always lean Embiid because, well, specifically today he's playing the Wizards, and I've always picked on the Wizards front court, and Giannis just went for 70 against them. Embiid's went for like 70 against them before, and he's if quote unquote if Jokic plays, I think Jokic's gonna be higher round, just because they see that Utah doesn't have Gobert and Philly's fully healthy. So I actually think it's kind of the opposite. I think Embiid's gonna be the one that's lower round, and I really do like him in GPPs because of that.
Okay.
But again, if Jokic is actually like not gonna play it, I think Embiid would probably be higher. I don't. This Jokic news, it's too confusing because I think he plays, but you don't know. But yeah, I love Embiid tonight. I think he's gonna
Perfect.
smash.
I think we covered all the questions so far. So let's move on to my next kind of written down question here. So I see we have Anthony Davis as a core for both DK and FanDuel here. Besides Anthony Davis, could you give me your top stud of the night?
Yeah, I think it's gotta be Embiid. Just like I was saying, he just such a great matchup, and hopefully he comes in a little bit lower on than what the model says. He should just obliterate this Washington front court. I mean, I think you build around AD and Embiid, and then hopefully Fox gets ruled out so Hallie can be a build around too. Because I love all those guys. And then Embiid, I mean, I don't know what's your take. I think he's gonna smash Boyle. Do you have like a certain? Do you like him or Jokic?
With Embiid, I always love Embiid.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a Sixers fan at heart, so I always love him.
Yeah.
I mean, I know, as you said, we always kind of target the Wizards front court here. So, I mean, I love him, especially coming off an off day like he did. He doesn't really get those anymore because the team was kind of relying on him for a while, but he's coming off I think it was last time he played was what? I want to say it was Sunday. I think was the last time he played, Saturday or Sunday. So he had a while off. He's all rested. He'll probably go out and play. Assuming not a blowout, he'll probably play around 33, 34, 35 minutes. So I definitely like Embiid.
Yeah.
So going off the Embiid question though.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say Jokic gets ruled out, and we're playing FanDuel.
Yeah, for sure.
Marcus Cousins gets ruled in. He's listed as only a center. They're both only centers. Are you paying down for Boogie, or are you going with Embiid?
So that's tough because if we don't get that news before lock, I'm definitely going to Embiid. Now, if we get that news, I don't know, like 6:30 Eastern, 6:45 Eastern, right before lock, I love Embiid, but if we get confirmed that Jokic is out and Boogie's in, it's going to be very, very tough to avoid Boogie on FanDuel. He's just 4K, and his upside is like 30, 40. And yeah, if Embiid goes for 16, and that's fine. But if Boogie was in and Jokic was out, if Boogie and he got anywhere near like 40s, you're going to want to have him. Just for pure value, he's just going to mash that price tag.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. You're finding studs elsewhere because I mean I'm just looking at Boogie's game log here. Back in December, he played 3 games for 27 minutes each. In those 3 games, FanDuel point wise, it was 42 FanDuel points, 34 FanDuel points, and then 43 FanDuel points, and he costs 5.2 right now. So he would. I mean, again, it's risky, and if you're playing a high risk. Really high risk contest, and you don't mind saying, look, I think Jokic is going to sit. He was a late addition to the injury reports today. He was questionable. What was it, last night, I believe, too? He was questionable. He ended up playing.
I actually, sorry, go ahead. I was cutting you off.
No, go ahead.
I actually thought he was going to sit last night because tonight's game is on ESPN. So I was like, maybe they rest him last night and play him tonight. But initially, I thought they might play him, but now they may rest him. I don't know. Jokic just doesn't like to sit. Like, if you know him, he wants to play every game. He's like LeBron. He doesn't really like truly. He's not like AD where he just like will just take nights off just because he wants to. But
I agree with that. I mean, the only indication that he would possibly be sitting is the second day late addition to the injury report for the same injury.
That's what I was worried about.
If you're playing high risk. And you're saying, look, like I'm willing to lose this money if I have a really good shot at taking it down. Yeah. You could avoid Jokic altogether. You can play Boogie. You can play Barton. You can play Morris. You can play if Gordon plays Gordon. you could put all those Nuggets guys in and just make sure you have a contingency plan where, let's say Jokic gets ruled in at 8:00, and you can kind of just play around and plug everyone else in that you're supposed to have.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's honestly on nights like this. I don't want to say it's like it's an edge if you play it like that because not many people have the stones to do that. Not many people have the balls to be like, oh, I'm gonna avoid Jokic altogether and play who's gonna be good without him. Especially at a 10:00 game like that.
Yeah,
that's hard to predict.
I just have one thing to add though. Even if Jokic ends up sitting, there's still a chance that Cousins would not sit. Would sit as well. So it's kind of like could be a lose-lose in that way. I personally think if they sit Jokic, they probably play Cousins though. I'm just putting it out there. There is a high probability they could both sit.
And that goes back to the whole contingency plan where you're just like 8:00. Let me make sure if I play 3 Nuggets, let me make sure their salaries can add up to 3 other players that I want to plug in there at 8:00 or 9:00, whatever it may be.
That's why I think like having another Denver player to pivot with. So like, just so you can like move around,
Exactly. Yeah. It's all about being able to be near your computer and just have your plan in place. So when we were talking, got 2 more questions here.
Okay.
Any thoughts on the Dallas OKC game tonight?
Yeah, so I absolutely love Jalen Brunson tonight. He has historically crushed without Kristaps. He's kind of the second option without Kristaps on the floor, so it's Luka and then him. And he is 5'8" on FanDuel, and he has the upside to go for like 40. So I think you're building around him probably on both sides. It's going to be hard for me to avoid him against OKC with no Kristaps. Like, I think he's a smash play. And I know the model doesn't love him, but personally, I played him without Kristaps, and he's crushed for me every time.
So, Brunson is 13% owned on FanDuel, and then we also have highlighted in there, I think he's actually in the core for FanDuel, Josh Giddey. He's supposed to come in at 31% ownership on FanDuel. So that's another really good play we have listed at the core.
Josh Giddey is grossly underpriced on FanDuel. Like, he should be at least 7K. Like, I think him and Brunson are just at least both like 1,000 too cheap for the roles tonight. Like, I think Brunson and Giddey are both great fantasy producers, and they're just not. Their price on FanDuel just does not account for that. So.
It's really rare when you see someone on DraftKings listed at 7.9 and then FanDuel listed at 6K.
Yeah, so they had that.
I don't think you ever see that.
They had LaMelo at like 10K one time when LaMelo was like 8K on FanDuel. So I was just smashing him when he was 10K on DK and 8K on FanDuel. But I don't see that very often, for sure.
Eventually they just even out. Eventually it's like he'll probably end up at like 7.5 on both websites in like 2 weeks. But take it as you can right now. If he's 6K, play him.
Yeah, the only thing is Kristaps is not really battling a long-term injury right now, so yeah. It could definitely happen though, I agree.
And then next question here, is AD strictly a low-risk play?
Nah, he's the best play on the slate. I wanted to get straight to the point here. He is just like every time LeBron is out and he's in, he is just a lock to crush the slate, and he's gonna be under-owned because last slate I think he had like 45 against, but I think LeBron was in. But tonight he gets the Trailblazers. If you look back, LeBron had like 80 fantasy points against them without AD. So AD is obviously he's not as good as LeBron, but he's almost as good as him. So AD and Embiid are kind of like my 2 spend-ups, and I don't think it's really close right now. AD especially. I would project him for almost 50, 55 as like a floor. I think he can get 60, 65. 70 would be a massive game, but he has the capability to get that without LeBron.
So here, right here, AD top play of the night. You heard it here first. Probably not first, but you've heard it here. So we talked about the studs for a little while with AD and Embiid. Let's flip the script here. So favorite value play. So I know we have like Brunson and Dinwiddie and Giddey all in the core, but let's see if we can find your top value play. We'll call it under 5 on either website.
Ooh, under 5. Well, let me look here on FanDuel or DK. I'll do both.
You can do both. I mean, I know you were talking about someone earlier. I don't know if you're gonna mention him or not. I know you were talking about someone earlier, so I'll see if you bring him up.
Let's see, under 5%. Let's see. I mean, I don't know
Oh
if he's
wait,
gonna.
no, 5,000, not 5%.
Well, under 5,000. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me
No,
resort.
yeah. We'll go value plays now, and then we'll go low owned players next.
All right, let's go under 5,000 on FanDuel. My favorite is it like doesn't matter position or can this be any?
No, any position.
I really like my two plays. I'm kind of keen in on are Chetty Osman, for the Cavs. He is 4-4 and 4-6 I think on DK, and he started last time for an injured Garland, and he's out. Garland's out once again, so I love Chetty at 4-4 and 4-6. He's way too cheap, and then I also love. I don't think people are going to key in on this because they usually go to his teammate, but Rudy Gay is 4-3 and let's see on DK 4-5, 4-6, something like that, and he crushes without Gobert and Whiteside. I don't know if he'll start. They may start Pascal, but even if he doesn't start, he should come off the bench and get all the backup run, and he's just a very good point per minute guy. And power forward isn't that strong to me on FanDuel, so I really like him tonight along with AD. And
That was the guy I was gonna see if you were gonna mention was Rudy Gay, because I was gonna mention there's 3 guys in the plug that have 3 badges. It was AD who's in the core, and Woody who's in the core, and then you got Rudy Gay who wasn't in the core. So I was waiting on you to mention him.
Yeah, I love him tonight, and he didn't make the court just because I don't want to flood the plays in the court, but I think he's gonna get overlooked tonight, and I don't know. I love him, and especially if Clarkson's out, like it's gonna bump him. It's gonna bump Bogdanovich. Oh, that should lead me right into the Jazz. So, yeah, Bogdanovich and Gay should. I mean, especially if Clarkson's out. First of all, it gives you a late swap if you're playing the Boogie or Jokic side. You can pivot from those guys, and also they're depleted as a whole. So like, someone's gonna have to score. So if Clarkson's out, it's gonna be Bogdanovich. It's gonna be Gay. It's gonna be Conley. All those guys are great plays, I think. And I think the field's gonna be a little bit underowned on them because it's a late game, and I love them. So
do you remember the last time we had someone coming off the bench that we loved, and he just
was that Hero?
The game?
Oh no.
No. Pacers. That's your hint.
Oh, Lamb. Yeah, Lamb.
Yeah, last time we were here and we had someone coming off the bench that we loved, it was Lamb, and he ended up with like, what was it, 35-ish?
Yeah.
So,
I don't.
You know, Nick knows his bench players, so I'm just take that with a grain of salt. But he knows his bench players.
I was a bench player, so I got the key end on that.
You know what? So was I. So was I. So it's all right. That's our specialty, I guess. It's just bench plays.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I hope he starts, but I wouldn't be shocked if he came off the bench. So.
We have in the chat here, you're gonna get a tweet from Camilla. If AD flops, she's gonna be tweeting at you.
I'll take all the hate. Bring me all the hate if AD sucks.
We have about 5 minutes left here. We're getting off 5:45. So any last questions, just throw them in the chat. We'll get to those. In the meantime, we were kind of going at it earlier. Do you want to go over the your favorite low owned? We'll go under 10% on each site. We could start with DK if you want, and then go over to FanDuel.
Yeah, let's do it here. So DK under 10%. You know, there's one that I really want to say, but I'm not really on him tonight, so I'm not gonna go there. Let's see who else. I mean, Conley, man, 4% ownership on DK. He is 7K. Never mind. Nah, I'm good on that. I didn't know he's 7K.
I mean, I don't know why, but AD is 10% owned on DraftKings.
Oh God,
you see that?
Yeah, that's. I did not know he's 10%. Yeah, it's AD, not even close. Yeah.
I was just pulling up and looking.
Westbrook. I'm not a big Westbrook guy, but if he's 10% too, like, that's crazy.
I feel like that's a little under for him. I mean, I feel like a lot of people are going to be on Westbrook. I know he's been sucking lately, but I mean, at 9K without LeBron playing,
he's been getting like 45. Potential. He's been getting like 45, so he's not terrible. But I mean, 80. Just I've not seen Westbrook go for more than 45 this year. I think 80 can go for 60, 70. So that's a no-brainer. 80, under 10% DK, lock it in, low play of the night.
All right, and then let's switch over to FanDuel here. We'll do FanDuel real quick, and then we got 2 questions in the chat. So if we want to go FanDuel real quick, just under 10%.
FanDuel under 10%. Under 10. This one's a little bit harder. FanDuel is a lot easier to get all these studs in. So
I see Spencer Dinwiddie looks like 5% on FanDuel.
yeah, okay.
That's someone we're looking at.
Good call. Yeah, definitely Spencer Dinwiddie. There's no way people are that biased. Like, the dude was putting up 35, 40 fantasy points, and he was like 7K. Now he's 6K. I know he's been shooting bad, but 5%. Like, come on now. Like, that's a lot. Under 5%. I already thought he was a good play, just in general. So I don't really understand that. So yeah, that's a no-brainer.
I'm all over him. I'm all over him as well. So we got two quick questions here in the chat before we get out of here. What are your thoughts on Eric Gordon?
You know, I'm not really going there. Kevin Porter's back, so I wouldn't really even honestly consider him. Again, back to the 150 max. Like, he's a fine 150 max type guy, but not really for me.
Okay, fair. And then we got another question here.
Yeah.
Or 2 more actually now. We got one. Who's your favorite DK value, 4K and under?
DK value, 4K and under. Let me look here. I've not even looked at DK today.
I can tell you who the top value is based off of like DK value in the model.
Let me look at that because I can kind of. So Chris
that would be
is
Marquise Chris. Yeah. He's
Yeah.
over 20, which is normally if you're over 20,
I like that.
You're a pretty good play. No,
yeah,
I've
been seeing people. Yeah, I've been seeing people talk him around the industry. Yeah, I think that's a great play. I like that.
All right, so we're going Marquise Chris for that, and then one last question here: stronger plays at shooting guard or point guard? Some of the top players are eligible for both, so curious where you would play them. So she's talking on FanDuel. So some of the top plays are multi-position eligible between point guard or shooting guard.
Yeah.
Where do you think he should play them to fit?
Yeah, so
everyone that's
in my lineup right now, I'm playing Dinwiddie and who's my other point guard? Dinwiddie and Halliburton right now at point guard, just because I like Gideon Brunson at shooting guard. So I think you're probably gonna want to go one of Conley or Dinwiddie at point guard, and then probably Halliburton. And you can obviously Halliburton shooting guard eligible, so you could also go like Conley. I mean, not Conley. You could also go like Brunson point guard, and Halliburton shooting guard. Whatever you needed to do, just make sure you probably got one of Dinwiddie or Conley, because I think they're great plays. And then, yeah, I guess that kind of answers the guard. That's kind of where I'm going. So.
Yeah, no, perfect answer. So I think we're gonna get up and out of here. It's 5:45. So if Moose wants to magically reappear here, we can close it out. I'm not sure how this whole magic. Oh, there it goes.
There we go. And I will have to point out, I can't believe both of you all were bench players growing up, because I was a starter, so that was great. So just had to stick that knife in there one last time. But Boyle, I'm gonna kick it over to you to take us out of here. See if you got the magic to take us out.
Yeah. So I mean, it looks like to be a good night tonight. We highlighted a lot of the plays. I mean, hell, you even had Nick going over exactly who was playing at his guard spot. So he basically just gave you 4 of the 4 of the 9 players he was playing on FanDuel. So
and Embiid and AD, if you are listening to the podcast, do more of my players in there.
Yeah, he's just literally spitting his entire lineup out for you guys.
Doing my best, trying to do it without the paywall. Doing my best, trying to
he's trying to give everyone some free advice here. But no, so that's perfect. So I'm T Boyle. Twitter would be tboyle24_DFS. As with me as always was Jayhawk, and that's at DFS Jayhawk. So from me, from Nick, from Moose, everyone have a good night.
Peace.
Have a good one, everyone.